Right, let's crack on to our main news this evening. And actually, it's a big breaking story because Sir Keir Starmer's barely clinging on to his job already, but his government has tonight been plunged into yet another scandal, this time involving a prominent Labour think tank that paid £36,000 to investigate British journalists and smear them as being pro-Russian. The Prime Minister is under pressure to investigate whether there are links between his government and Labour Together, a think tank that spent thousands of pounds smearing Sunday Times and Guardian journalists who were reporting on their funding. So Labour Together is said to have hired PR firm APCO Worldwide to target British journalists who reported on the think tank's failure to declare more than £70,000 in donations. At the time, Labour Together was run by Josh Simons, who is now the Labour MP for Makerfield and a Cabinet Office Minister. And before Simons, it was run by Starmer's former Chief of Staff, Morgan McSweeney, who of course recently resigned over the Mandelson affair. When it was run by Simons, Labour Together reportedly hired public relations company APCO, based in Washington DC conveniently, to examine the personal, political and religious backgrounds and motivations of British journalists, probing their finances with a view of discrediting their work. That's according to the Sunday Times. Gabriel Pogrens, who is the Sunday Times Whitehall editor, and Harry York, the newspaper's deputy political editor, were named as, quote, persons of significant interest in a 58-page dossier. In the dossier, there were nearly 10 pages of deeply personal and false claims about Mr Pogrund, linking him to Russian sabotage campaigns and commenting on his status as a Jew and even making claims on his personal relationships. Very murky, very grubby stuff. Tonight, the Conservative Party has written to Labour Party Chair Anna Turley, urging her to investigate Mr Simons' role in the decision to hire APCO. And even Clive Lewis, the Labour MP for Norwich South, has said Labour and the Prime Minister should now commit to full cooperation with an independent inquiry to establish the facts. Lewis says what was commissioned, who authorised it, and who knew about it and how far it went. Reform's Nadhim Zahawi, of course the former Tory minister, has told The Telegraph today, this is a huge story. We need to know who knew about this inside Labour. Did the PM know? And SNP Westminster leader Stephen Flynn said the Prime Minister should sack Josh Simons as a minister, as he is, quote, at the centre of this creepy spy scandal. So for me, viewers and listeners, Sir Keir Starmer has big questions to answer tonight. What does he know about Labour Together and the 36 grand they spent investigating legitimate British journalists? Does he condemn such torrid authoritarian behaviour? And what's he going to do about the likes of Cabinet Office Minister Josh Simons, who was head of Labour Together when it allegedly embarked on the investigation and the smear campaign against Sunday Times reporters? Day after day, it becomes ever clearer that this Labour government and its friends and allies have, I argue, a pretty nasty authoritarian streak that communists from the CCP would be very proud of indeed. Jailing people for tweets, suppressing free speech, spying on journalists, cancelling elections and dreams of scrapping jury trials. They have no problems whatsoever throwing the term fascist around, but let's be honest, Labour campaigners and politicians seem to behave like the most fascist monsters of all. And the irony, it seems, isn't lost on them. gbnews.com/your say. Let me know your thoughts about this story tonight. As I said, huge pressure on Sir Keir Starmer and the government to answer those key questions.